It's the next day. Everything looks nice and straight. I don't have any bowing. See, the lines are all nice and straight. Excellent, excellent. It's a good start. Now the next step today is we're going to get more foam injected, and then we're going to put our second level on. Okay guys, I got another panel fit up. It's dry fit right now for spacing and clearance. I've clearanced the rollers. You can see the gap is there where you expect it to be. The big issue with this particular one is this particular panel set. I have to make sure that this aluminum strap is bonded to the foam well. So I'll put a little extra foam in there. It's secured to the structure with the construction adhesive. That'll stabilize it, make sure it stays where I want. But we'll go ahead and fill her in, get her mounted. Next step though is I have to wipe this down with alcohol, make sure I have a nice clean, pristine surface for the foam to bond. And there we go. That's the second panel's done. There's a couple things I need to make note of. Number one, if you see right here, I ended up putting an oak standoff bonded to the steel structure of the door. It's 2 inches thick, same as the foam. The purpose of that is I'm going to put a door pull on this thing so I can open the thing up. I originally had decided to just use a rope in an emergency and a power lift, but I felt that a handle would come in handy, so we just put it back on. I went with wood instead of metal just for the simple fact that it adds a level of insulation and it's strong. So we got our spacers down here. I have got 2-inch spacing between the seams, the panels. That'll be filled, of course, with a 2 1/4 inch foam. Now the issue there is the fact that when the door folds up, I've got to have some kind of gap as it rolls around its track. It's got to fold in, and 2 inches optimal. I got 2 1/4 inch foam for the flexible joint, and a 2-inch spacing between the panels. That will give us perfect spacing so that we don't have to worry about binding when the door opens. I'll get this gap filled, and here's what I'm going to do on the insulation. This gasket. It's 2 1/4 inches wide and 2 1/4 inches square. And this gasket is going to sit between the two pieces. Now the spacing is actually 2 inches. Okay, so it sits in there with just enough friction, and it should sit reasonably flush. I'll have to figure out some way to attach it to the foam so it won't work its way out with the door usage. But it should compress enough that the door, when it rolls around the curve in its track, will squeeze down ever so gently. Keep the gasket sealed. There's the three panels done. We have 2 to go. I managed to get 2 up this day. I got one up about 6 o'clock this morning, and this is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. It seems to have cured, so I went to the 3rd panel. Probably tonight around 7, 8, maybe 9 o'clock when the other one is ready. What I've done is I pulled the furring strip in to the clamp with nylon ties, and then I tie it top and bottom. And that gives me a nice clamped surface. It keeps it lined up. Spacing is important, but it keeps it right against the style of that door. That one and this one. That way I can ensure that it has a uniform spacing from the door and the insulation that existed on the door. So I'm pretty happy with it. I don't see any issues developing. Everything's going as I anticipated. It's actually going a little better than I had hoped. The foam is kicking off pretty quick. It still needs to set overnight to be ready to work with, but the bonding takes place fairly quick, and I suspect these things are going to stay on here for a long time. Well, there we go. We have got 3 full door panels done. I've got 2 left. Everything's looking good. We'll get these seams filled up here pretty quick. Once we get all the panels on, it's secure. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a video and do a time lapse of me putting on one panel. Well, there it is, all done. All the panels are put up. I'm going to let it set a full 24 hours before I even do any trimming work to clean it up. And I still had to put some type of lip seal at the top of the door. And then of course the sides, I haven't fully decided what to do about the edges of the door. Besides the standard little rubber strip that's on the outside, there's not a lot of options to completely sealing the door. Get all that foam off there, and I have to figure out a ways to seal the top lip of the door. Confirm we have good seal everywhere. And as you can see, it's oozing out here. So we have to trim back all these hinges and the foam and this gap right here between the door. It's actually quite cold because there's no insulation on it, and it becomes extremely apparent just how cold the steel is relative to the foam. All right, now I think it's 18 degrees outside. We have, all right, I have 56 on the foam, and on the steel 35. Now you see why that's so important. Next step is I'm going to start cutting and trimming this foam, and we'll see how it turns out. Well, here's what we got. The door is all insulated. At least the panels are mounted. It's all been trimmed out. Now it's ready for a coat of sealant. Here's the wooden insert I did. It's a 2-inch thick piece of oak, bonded and physically attached to my door frame. That's going to be my pole handle. I'll put something there, something nice. Other than that, happy. Definitely can feel a difference when you walk down this side of the building. You don't feel the cold as much as you used to.
Were you videotaping still? We're good? No, don't put your fingers in front of it, honey. All right, hit stop. All right, hit stop.